Hey fam, this is David Roman. I'm the author and illustrator of the Eternal Horizon series. Welcome to another episode of Art with David. Technically, it's my vlog, alright? It started with me talking about my paintings, and it trailed off, and I'm just talking about all sorts of stuff. But primarily my art, obviously. So in this case, I'm talking about my book. Technically, it's a piece of my art too, because I do all the illustrations, right? So yeah, let's talk about my book. Penultimate book in the Eternal Horizon series, Memoirs of Orion Kren. So this is another prequel. Yeah, I know people hate me for it. It's a fucking another prequel, but it, like, everything leads up to the finale. I promise you, in the finale, all your favorite characters will come back. So this is a prequel. It's about Orion Kren, the character from the book 1 who gives Vincent his powers. Okay, so it's about how he went crazy. He rebelled against his cousin. Okay, it takes place 10 years after the events of the third book. His cousin pretty much is bent on conquering the galaxy. He created like a Xenian coalition. He's going against the Federation forces pretty much. And slowly but surely, you know, he becomes a tyrant, and his cousin Orion is like witnessing it. So half the book is in third person, and the other half is in first person, because we are actually reading his memoirs. Well, technically, Vincent is reading his memoirs, and we are told that. So it all ties in, all right? I know it's like it takes place like 50 years before the original events on the first book, but it all ties in. Trust me. I mean, I know many times people like tell, even to this day, people will tell you, you know what you should do? You should have this character do this. I'm like, come on, man. I released this book like almost 20 years ago. You want me to go back and change it for you? Like, get out of here, man. Like, sometimes, like, you know, after a while, the critics are just like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing, seriously? So anyway, yeah, it's the way I saw the story, okay? So in this book, the manuscript is already done through multiple edits, through several proofreads, and I'm doing one more proofread right now out loud at the same time as I'm taping the audio tape. I know I have an accent, but like I'm using Audacity. I'm just going slow, portion by portion, chapter by chapter. And right now it's middle of November. I'll be done with this by the end of the month. When I'm done with this, I have a little staycation coming up. I'm gonna put together Kindle file, and I'm gonna put together the PDFs for hardcover, for paperback, obviously, and the audiobook. And I'm going to release them all on Christmas. So December 25th, the 5th book in the Eternal Horizon series is out, okay? That's a penultimate novel, and the other, the finale is coming, I'm hoping by 2030. But, like, I mean, if I sell a lot and I get a lot of pressure from people, I'll release it earlier. I just, like, for my books, I only work on weekends, okay? I have so many other projects going on. If you've never heard about my story is about Vincent Saturn, a human makes contact with an alien, Orion, and, you know, absorbs his powers and gets transferred to the other side of the galaxy, where he falls in love with an alien princess, joins her cause of rebellion. You know, you've heard the story before, but this is a unique take on it. Promise you, man. A lot of people said, you know, how do you know it's a great book? Even though, you know, you read the story, you know you heard it before, but you're still reading it because you love it, because there's a lot of plots and twists you will not see coming, all right? So yeah, the story starts with him and eventually branches out to other characters, but it all comes around and it will all make sense in the last novel, Eternal Horizon. Book 6, Vengeance of Alexander Kren. Oh, yeah, see, if you know that name, you know what it means. So yeah, all the illustrations are done. All the characters are done. They're ready. And how I build these characters, you know, like I use parts from other characters. I Photoshop them together, all right? So I'm not like saying, oh, I drew these by hand. The covers, yeah, the cover I did by hand. But the illustrations, the starships, there's a lot of Photoshop in there. But the starships, I used to just do bevel and emboss and like build them by hand. Like I remember back in the day, tedious work. Like some of them took dozens of hours on some of those starships. And the glossary is done. Everything is done. December 25th, book 5 is out. Book 1 through 4 are out right now. You should get them. Best way to read them is on hardcover, obviously. Hold on, let me show you. Let me actually see. Every book starts with a logo. I have a logo especially for every book. I have characters in the back, stats. We have their little bios, and we have like all the machines, you know, appearing. Eternal Horizon, you know, unique science fiction style, blah blah blah. And you know, book 1 through 4 are out now. They all have their own unique logos. They all have their own unique logos. Available in paperback. Available in paperback as well. And Kindle version. Yeah, so the book's gonna be out December 25th. It occupies a lot of my time, but I have so many different projects going on. And next year, I'm gonna start with a schedule. I'm gonna work on one thing at like one day, because I want to work on a comic book. Not a comic book, it's a comic strip, kind of like Garfield, kind of like Archie. I want to do one. It's called Gym Bros. I believe I made an episode about that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue the second book of the Juba series, my children's book, you know, my number most viewed video on YouTube. I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue painting, and I'm going to do more short stories. I recently finished a short story about a cat man. It's about a UFC fighter. It's about this dude, you know, he gets the powers of a cat, let's just say, in a way, and becomes a UFC fighter, starts beating everybody, but eventually, you know, the cat takes over. So it's a short story. It's a cool thing. So I'm going to try to submit that. So yeah, I'm going to work on a lot of short stories. I'm not going to start the final book of the Eternal Horizon series till summer 2026, okay? I'm going to take about a 6-month break. I'm going to pump out as many short stories as I can, work on my comic books, and maybe polish my superhero story. I have a plan for a superhero story also in the future. I have a plan for some 2 different fantasy stories, high fantasy. One is, actually they're both sad as fuck, technically. I was gonna say one is more fun, but yeah, one starts more fun, but they're both sad. So I have so many different projects going on, you know, my job gets in the way. So yeah, please subscribe. Please check out Eternal Horizon on Amazon. The links are below. Book 5 out, December 2025. Please subscribe. I don't know if I said that. And I'll see you later.